All right, so we've watched the video on Rendi. We've got Rendi's side of things so far. Apparently, it's not an attack on Rendi. Let's have a look at Reddit here. So this is from Mod Aiza. Hopefully he doesn't meow and purr in this fucking post. Oh my god, that's a lot of reading. Okay, here we go. Hi all, understandably there's been a lot of chatter following action that was taken against a number of accounts yesterday. It's taken some time to get this out, as we wanted to reach out personally before posting this, but hopefully this provides some well-needed clarity that for you all ahead of the weekend. Earlier this week we identified an issue with Partner Slayer that allowed some accounts to gain Slayer XP and Slayer points in a way that was not intended. We have since fixed the bug, and we opted to remove the XP and points gained through this method from any accounts that used it. So, but there are bugs that they've fixed or bug abuse that we've seen, and they haven't done anything about that, like the Josh Isn't Gaming, is that his name? With the phishing method. But that was a big post on Reddit and a big video, and they did nothing about it. So just keep that in mind when you say that this isn't an attack on Rendi or an attack towards a certain part of the community, in my opinion. For clarity, here's what it looks like. Slayer XP removed, 39 million. Slayer points removed, 118,000. Accounts impacted, only 12 accounts. Routine checks, only 12 accounts were impacted. Is there a way to filter level 3s with 99 Slayer? Only 12 accounts were impacted. They need to do more routine checks. We've seen some confusion around why action was taken when an existing method for Partner Slayer has existed for some time now, and the XP rates for doing so are considerably lower than what you'd expect if you were a main doing the content yourself. Want to make it clear, existing known methods for using Partner Slayer are fine. They can continue to be used, even when assisting with a lower level or niche account build. Existing known methods, so it's the unknown methods that are not good? Partner Slayer has a check that requires the player to have killed at least some of the assigned creatures to get the reward from the task. In this instance, this was not working effectively for small tasks. More specifically, boss tasks. This allowed players to get rewards without ever interacting with or slaying the creature. Slayer should entail at least some slaying. Okay, alright. Since the bug is now fixed, here's a rundown of how we reproduced it, which we believe should illustrate the problem. In this example, player A is a character capable of killing boss, and a high enough combat level to be assigned them. And player B is a level 3 character who is partnered with player A for the Partner Slayer. Both player A and B avoid specific quest completions to utilize specific block tasks, which is normal, and task storage to narrow the pool of available tasks. The boss slayer tasks are more common than usual, that's normal. That behavior is fine and intended, yep, but does not increase the effectiveness of the bug. So player A, the main account, receives a Partner Slayer boss assignment and sets it to 3. Player B talks to the Slayer Master and also sets it to 3. Player A and B travel to the assigned boss. Player A kills the boss 3 times while player B stands nearby within a 30-tile range. Player A receives 5k XP for completing the boss task. Player B receives 5k for completing the boss task, despite not contributing or interacting with the NPC at all. Player B needs to contribute at least 20% of the total kills towards the task, but 20% of 3 is 0.6. Since old school RuneScape rounds down, this means that they're eligible for completion bonus even if they have 0 kills, effectively granting the Slayer XP for watching their partner kill the boss and not doing any actual Slayer. That just sounds like an oversight by Jagex, to be honest. That's what it sounds like to me. Player B's contribution is too low to earn Slayer points on a task-by-task basis. They're still eligible to earn points from task streaks, milestones, which also means players benefiting from the bug were able to rack up substantially more Slayer points than any level 3 character would otherwise be able to do. Okay. How do we detect the bug? On Monday, May the 4th, we noticed the level 3 character had broken into the top 10 for daily Slayer XP gains across all account types. Given the limitations that level 3... So is this a routine check? Given the limitations that the level 3 characters face, ranking in the top 10 of all players is entirely unheard of and triggered an investigation to exactly how those gains were being made. We went to discover that despite the same character averaging around 55k XP an hour, they've been breaking the 90k XP an hour mark, which is drastically higher than what we've seen in the past for limited builds like this, and at times even competing with main player rates. From there, we spotted that the majority of the gains being made were in increments of 5k at the time, so we began exploring the boss task completion bonus as the likely culprit to investigate the reproduction steps. Once we're confident we'd correctly identified the issue, we ran checks to find any players who had received this 5k bonus without any task completion and opted to remove XP from the players who had performed this multiple times, meaning players who tried it once to see if it worked weren't docked any Slayer XP or points. Okay, so that's how they identified it 4 days ago. Wouldn't he be top 10 the whole time or near? Maybe he's only just gotten as efficient or wasn't doing it at such an efficient rate. I don't know. I don't know how this gets triggered or how long they've been in the top 10 for. Rendi isn't being truthful about the entire situation as usual. I do love Rendi, but bro, at least be transparent. He's hiding a method. Screw Jagex, they're shady in my opinion. So, because Rendi isn't explaining how he's doing the method, you feel like he's being untruthful? Yeah, League's probably triggered it too, because less people were doing it, so it was easy to get into the top 10. That's a good point. Said he used a bunch of points for skips on the last day to make it more XP per hour, so that might have been that. That's true, yeah. Wasn't Rendi going to show the method in a video at some point? He said he's going to release some video in the near future, yes. But I think it's more, yeah, like what he's been doing and probably the method as well. But Jagex has released their version of the method here anyway, so I don't think it matters at this point. We love the creativity of the OSRS community, especially when it comes to emergent gameplay and specialized account builds. Restricting quests, optimizing how you play, and forging your own unique path are all parts of what makes Old School the great game that it is. Our approach to actioning against bug abuse has, as you've rightly pointed out, been inconsistent. Fucking absolutely. Yes, they believe the removal of XP and Slayer points was the right way to solve this, especially as some accounts were competing for top ranks in the high scores. In hindsight, we feel like we got it wrong. Despite no permanent bans, the punishment felt too severe and it could have been handled much better. That's just Jagex in a nutshell. As a result, we'll be carefully reviewing the XP that was gained, and as a result of the specific bug abuse, restoring a portion of it back based on expected rates that similar account builds would get if they were interacting with the content based on established metas. Looking forward, we want to provide better clarity on what behavior might result in action being taken against your account. And how we make it clearer to you that we consider bug abuse versus emergent gameplay, or fun ways to push the boundaries of the game. This will take us some time, but we'll share more on official channels when we're ready. In the meantime, when in doubt, please use the in-game bug report feature and we'll take a look. So I think all they've done here really is just explain the bug. It's only been 12 accounts that have been impacted. And this doesn't mean anything unless they actually do something about it. I don't know if Jagex... They've never handled bug abuse in situations like this appropriately. We've got Rendi tweets here. He had a convo with user that wasn't previously president for this circumstance. They will be refunding his friends and my friends and I an equal amount of XP to 40k an hour, the previous no meta, based on how much time we train Slayer. I'm averaging 53.4 an hour in according to their logs. About 7.5 mil refunded. So that's going to give him close to 99. He'll be able to do his stuff again. Shout out to Jagex for contacting me and for everyone civilly reaching out to make this happen. Happy with the compromise that my friends will get some of their XP points back. So I think that sounds like they've come to a decent conclusion. I don't think Rendi cares much about the method being patched or exposed. I think he cares about his time being wasted. So if he can get his XP back, I don't think he's getting his points, but now he can actually do the Cerberus stuff, right? I think that's the main thing. Well, at least you'd hope he could. Was this bug abuse in the main game or in League? This was in the main game. So that sounds like a reasonable compromise that he's happy with, which is the main thing. Remember when they patched this unintended method for 40 mil attack XP in a day and didn't ban Jamal? Or even reverse the XP? Yeah, it's inconsistent. Do I feel like this is an attack on Rendi still? Yeah, this tweet doesn't really, make them exempt of that, to be honest. I think the fact that they saw it was Rendi, they took more drastic measures. I don't think he should get the XP back. I don't care what you think. I think he should have his XP. I think that's fine. There's methods like they've patched and then they haven't reversed people's accounts, but they reversed Rendi's. Why? This is similar to the situation when... do you remember the Stellar and OWST situation? When people were getting banned for real trade far more than they should, and OWST got permanently banned when he should have only got a 2-day or 2-week ban. But because it was OWST, they handed a more severe ban out. And because it was through Stellar and Mod Trident or whatever, it was more severe. But there was no dispute there. It was like obviously, it was targeting a more severe punishment because of who it was. I think that's what's happened here. I think that's what Jagex did, and they're trying to take accountability for it and say that they're going to do better in the future. I don't fucking think they will, because bugs come up all the time. They found a new method. You have to proactively multi-log on many accounts for it. Average 45k XP an hour, spent 3 months. Why isn't uploaded? Lost little income doing this, and you reset my slay down to 78. The resetting to 78 made no sense, like, because they're all different levels, right? So people also rolled back a bronze defender and the collection log recently on something that took 30 hours to prep and 1,000 poison dynamite plus 10 hours of damage for a cosmetic. Muleta is better. Can't play the game without you constantly resetting my account. Yeah. How many other people's accounts are getting reset? Lucky he's a content creator and made a video so that put pressure on Jagex to give him back the XP. But you're also making good points? Of course I'm making good fucking points. But yeah, it is lucky he's a content creator. But if he wasn't a content creator, we wouldn't know about this shit either, right? This would all be going under the rug and it'd be happening behind closed doors. So I think the fact that it's happening to a content creator is the reason it's happening, right? If it was just the level 3 community, it wouldn't be heard of and it probably wouldn't be handled in this way. Where was his video? Can I pull that shit back up if we still got it? I don't know if it's still up here. What was this here? Josh Isn't Gaming, is that his name?
And weren't rolled back, especially one that's 45k XP an hour. I can't emphasize this enough on Slayer. And it took me 3 months.
Is that still on here? I don't know. I won't watch the video. I just kind of want to see.
This
fuck me, that's an hour?
1,000 hours completing every possible task in an ill, and now I'm exploring the world one chunk at a time.
Oh god, it's a chunk man thing. Okay. Is there any most seen bits here?
Awesome. Good job.
So let's. Is there any information on what the fuck this is without me having to actually watch it? That'd be handy. Not that I can see. This definitely isn't bug abuse 100%. It's just a mechanic in the game, guys. Reports the bug after getting the XP. That's fucking memes if he gets that. If he does do that. Just says I found a game-breaking bug. Well, it must be a bug then in my dev chunk. But they didn't reverse this, right? It's like a raid mega scaling, but for troller. Okay, I see. Which raid mega scaling, they could never decide if it was bug abuse or not at the time, at the very beginning. Jagex removes a feature because if abusing it brings it back and doesn't actually fix the coding. Doesn't seem like abusing anything. Okay. Look, I think Rendi. Okay, if he was bug abusing, sure. I think Rendi was bug abusing. Yeah, okay. I don't think he's denying that. That's not in dispute. People seem to be hanging on to that a little bit sometimes. Rendi's not denying the bug abuse. I don't think that's a problem either. I think the way Jagex handled it once again was terribly. They did the same thing with his Canifis one years ago. Do you remember that when he got into Canifis without getting any prior? What's the guideline on what is a bug and what isn't a bug with Jagex? That's the problem. That's the problem here. Is we don't know. His framing is very disingenuous. Well, I think it's like Chuck said. How do you define a bug? What are these 40k, 50k XP an hour methods that aren't bug abuse because they're known methods, but this version is bug abuse? But what are the other methods not bug abuse? Is it because he found this method? Is this method too strong? Is there a line when if you're earning this much, it has to be bug abuse? But if it's the same XP per hour, if he wasn't getting more XP per hour, would it still be considered bug abuse? Like, probably not. I don't think they would have gone after it if it was the same XP rates. But because it was more XP rates than they're comfortable with, they're probably going to drop it under the bug abuse category. Would you not think? Because what are these other methods? 40k XP an hour is insane still on a level 3 account. How the fuck are you doing that? Is it his fault they neglected updating Partner Slayer? Well, I think that's the whole idea of reporting bugs. It's not about the XP per hour, it's about how he's interacting with the system. Yeah, right, you're right, but how do they interact with the system for the other 40k XP an hour? The dividing line from Jagex's perspective is that he didn't have to interact with the NPCs being killed. Yes, you're correct. Which is obviously an oversight by Jagex because of the rounding down by being a 20% of 3. That makes perfect sense, I get that. I mean, they could do it with 4 as well, but 3 is faster for 5k XP. So the bug really is selecting 3 as the boss and then doing nothing, just being nearby. The tweet does say it's stated you're supposed to have KC first, and he's obviously going around that intentionally. Yeah, you're correct. You're correct, because the code calculates 0 as an acceptable amount. Poison Dynamite is something Jagex added recently, right? An exploit and bug abuse can be different though. Think of Smash Melee. It's completely exploiting the game engine, but it's not bug abuse. What is Smash Melee? I don't know what that is. Getting Slayer XP while not doing extra Slayer is pretty clearly bug abuse. Unless you have a lamp. Let's not forget about the XP lamps. Should you get all the XP back or some of it? I think look, I don't really care. I think he's content that they've met in the middle by giving him XP rates back based on the 40k an hour method multiplied by the amount of time spent training Slayer. Which I think is going to put him comfortably in the 90 region. I think he should be able to do his Cerberus and Kraken then, which means he can continue his build. How is he killing those though? Probably, yeah, with the Poison Dynamite. So, I think Jagex's handling of the accounts affected is wrong. And I think they've acknowledged that. I think they're aware of that, of course. I think the way Jagex handles it is too different. They need to have a strict or a more consistent process when handling the bug abuse, because some people just get their methods patched. Prayer flicking is a bug. Prayer flicking is not a bug. Please don't be retarded. Prayer flicking is not a fucking bug. Refunding partial XP is super cucked. Either give it back or none. Yeah, they shouldn't have taken it, I don't think, in the first place. The Slayer points... You're still completing tasks. I don't know. Obviously, they need to fix this shit, which is what they've done. That's the main thing. 5 minus 2 equals 43. What do I win? What? No, it doesn't. I wish they banned Go Monkey for solo. You mean no monkey for solo next? It wasn't no solo next done by Wooks first? Should we ban him too? Is solo next a bug abuse? It's just eating cabbages, isn't it? Or at least it was at first. Yeah, I think it's targeted at Rendi still. I think it's still a spearheaded, like they went over the top, and I think it's because it was Rendi, personally. This bug isn't that significant. It is not that big of a bug. It's still bug abuse, which is a problem. They need to make sure all bug abuse is treated as bug abuse, but it is not a massive game-breaking bug, and they did go, I think, too far with their punishment, I guess, for Rendi. He didn't get banned, he just had his account reversed, so it's like... Yeah, I don't know. It's just XP rates. I think Leagues is probably what helped expose it too. Jagex hates Rendi from the looks of it. We've known that for years. That's been evident, like, since the Canifest prior stuff. I think it was Modash that handled that. They've not been a fan of Rendi, but 12 accounts being impacted, that's so much Slayer XP, dude, on 12 accounts. Fuck me. If the bug is he didn't interact with the boss to get the KC, isn't that the point behind the level 99 on a level 3, not gaining combat XP? But use Poison Dynamite to kill shit without getting XP. And I think recoils as well, maybe? So I think by this method that he was doing, he wasn't interacting with the boss at all. He wasn't even Poison Dynamiting it. They should reward him for exposing their mistakes. He's their best QA agent. He probably would get paid more money by just doing the videos he does, I'll be honest with you. I don't think it's worth trying to chase a reward or anything. Or God forbid, employment. If they want to say bug abuse outside of duplication is wrong, then they should code better. Wasn't most of Rendi's stuff instance breaking? No, I don't think so. Their code is cooked, but it's just... Hopefully they put this into consideration the next time they do these sort of metrics and these fail-safes. You know? If they're going to put a minimum threshold on something to be completed, don't let 0 also be 20%, you know? Because then that's obviously their issue there. It needs to be like a hard 20%. It needs to be, well, round up in that case. But then they always round down in RuneScape, so... Maybe they should start rounding up. That'd be good for the players, I think. That'd be handy for us. I don't know. It's bug abuse, yes. I think if you bug abuse, you should, absolutely be punished, for sure. That makes sense. I think they handled it poorly. But they seem to have come to a conclusion. It seems to be resolved. I think Rendi can continue his build and his series, which is the main thing for him. And Jagex can hopefully handle it better in the future. I don't know. I don't think there's really much else to discuss in that situation. I kind of want to see where Rendi goes with it now. I want to see his next video now. Fuck it. Definitely seems like a personalized attack. Yeah. Same when Oda got banned randomly and they said the same things, routine checks. Yeah, it wasn't no routine check. That's horseshit. That's obvious, though. Which is why they didn't mention routine check in here. They just gave us a date, which he's been doing it for 3 months. So their routine checks are either very fucking far apart or it's because it was indicated on the top 10, not because it was a routine check. It's the prayer flicking mechanic all over again, to be honest. Prayer flicking isn't bug abuse, though, right? You're the best Aussie OSRS content creator. Others like Theatrics just read guides off the wiki. You make unique content, just saying. I mean, I read news posts off the website, but I appreciate that. And yeah, you're right. Thank you. Isn't it weird that they didn't punish Josh Isn't Gaming, like you said? Well, that's why I think we can all kind of lean in the direction of it being more of an attack on Rendi. People are being... Creators and bug abusers aren't being treated fairly. To Jagex, though, if this wasn't a content creator, they'd probably just permaban the accounts. Probably, maybe. I don't know. Like, yeah, you might be right. If Rendi wasn't involved, would it still be reversed? I don't know. I don't play with these communities. I don't hang out in them. I don't know what happens behind closed doors. I'm sure stuff like this happens a lot and has happened quite a lot. It happens all the time, probably. But we only hear about it because Rendi's involved. It may have happened. There may have been bans. There may have been reverses. We don't know. The only reason we're hearing about it is because it's Rendi, and I think that's a good thing. What's the best area, Kandarin or desert? Neither of them. Jesus. It's always we'll handle it better in the future, but do the same thing every time. Yeah, take note on this. Next time something like this happens, we'll see if they do handle it better in the future. It's not, but Jagex argued it was years ago. Yeah, I don't think prayer flicking was ever bug abuse. I mean, I figured out prayer flicking in RuneScape 2 when I was like 10 just by prayer flicking my offensive prayers. Just like on the computer. Like it wasn't that fucking deep and that hard to figure out. It's a pretty straightforward mechanic. You know, damage is calculated at a certain point, so you only need to protect at a certain time. Damage isn't calculated for 4 game ticks. It's calculated on a game tick. That's not bug abuse, that's math. What's up, Michael? How you doing, man? The Doom bug is a good example of Jagex just outright banning accounts. What was the Doom bug? I've got to ask why you think prayer flicking isn't bug abuse, because it's not. When the game was created, I'm sure it was. They didn't even attend to people to get a 99. They said so themselves. Desmond did it. Prayer flicking isn't bug abuse. Okay? Prayer flicking is how prayer works. Damage is... So you got a 4-tick attack cycle, okay? Alright? Damage is calculated and applied on game tick... So damage is calculated on game tick number 1, okay? Calculated here. And then the projectile travels and is applied to you here. You just need to pray when it's calculated. How the fuck is that bug abuse? You just pray here, because that's when it's calculated. Some attacks are calculated and applied on the same game tick. So you can pray flick here. How can it be bug abuse when they have multiple ways to determine when damage is applied and calculated? It can't be bug abuse. It never was. It was never bug abuse. They labeled it bug abuse because they didn't understand it. That's why. But when Jagex has different ways for NPCs, some NPCs, like for example in the Gauntlet, when the Hunliff attacks, that's when your damage is calculated, right? With the Nightmare, when the Nightmare attacks, the damage is calculated at the animation. But in the Doom, the damage is calculated when the projectile hits you. Okay? So Doom's damage, for example, is calculated here. Nightmare and Gauntlet, for example, is calculated over here. And this is something that they've done since the beginning of RuneScape. Right? They've been doing this since fucking Moss Giants and Hill Giants, Dragons, anything that's ranged versus melee. It's the same thing. It's not bug abuse. It's just, it's how the attack is timed. How can it be bug abuse? Do you not understand how prayer flicking works? If you thought that Doom Shield bug was above board, you're straight up retarded. I don't know what the Doom Shield bug was. You could stall the shield phase and one-hit Doom. Oh, right. I remember that. Yeah. Okay. Yes, I remember that now. I mean, yeah, it's bug abuse, but they patched it. But they didn't punish anyone for doing it. When it was created, how do you know that in 2001 that they intended people to flick prayers in less than a second? Just because Jagex didn't think players would do it doesn't mean that it was bug abuse. Because when they created the game, I don't think the one tick flicking on off was intended. It doesn't matter. Just because it wasn't intended doesn't make it bug abuse. How does that make it bug abuse? Because it was unintended. The method is still the same. The logic behind it is very simple. They coded it so damage is calculated here. Damage applies to you here. That's the code. They didn't expect people to do this, so now it's bug abuse. But it's not bug abuse. You're not abusing a bug. That's not a bug. That is how this is the attack. The damage is calculated here. It's applied to you here because the projectile travels. You only need to protect when the damage is calculated. When you see an XP drop, when you shoot your bow, okay, if you shoot an arrow, you get XP when you shoot the arrow. But the arrow has to travel, and then the damage is dealt here. It's not bug abuse to have a damage prayer on when the damage is calculated. People just didn't understand it, and they panic and go, oh, it's bug abuse. It's not bug abuse. Your damage is calculated here, so pray here. It's not bug abuse. That's how the game works. That is combat in the game. If you don't understand that and you think it's bug abuse, I'm not sorry, but you're a fucking idiot. You are retarded. It's not bug abuse. It was just bug abuse is just easily thrown in there because you don't understand it. You don't get it. Oh, it must be bug abuse. No, it's not bug abuse. It's understanding the mechanics of the game. And the sooner you understand shit like this, the sooner you're going to be able to do things like tackle the Inferno and the Colosseum and your Awakened bosses, because you're going to understand the mechanics of the game and how combat works. It's very basic. This is how it works. You can't do Inferno without prey flicking, so it's clearly not bug abuse. Well, prey flicking came into the game, what was discovered in the game way before bug abuse, before the Inferno. But you can do the Inferno without bug abuse, prey flicking these days. But yes, you are right. Like, it helps. Same with tick eating, absolutely. Tick eating is the same thing. It's not bug abuse. You're eating after the damage has been calculated, but before it has been applied. There's a window there. There's a gap. Jagex didn't intend for a basic functionality of half the current league to be how it ended, actually working compared to how they said it would during teasers. You're exactly right. Josh Isn't Gaming would have everyone leave the minigame before they got the XP drop. All the XP would go to one remaining person, around 30k XP an hour. Okay, so kind of like the Chambers of Zerk, everyone leaves and then all the points go to one guy. They patched that bug. They didn't roll back any purples though. They didn't punish anyone for that. They just changed it. The developers clearly knew it was a method it had to be done with. Yes, absolutely. Like, the game was coded like this. Jagex has embraced prayer flicking to the point where it's an actual mechanic of the game, even if it wasn't originally intended. They probably didn't realize it could be that efficiently played. Unintended game mechanics are definitely considered to be a bug. They're talking about clicking on and off over and over, not talking about turning prayer on and off for damage calculated. So, because prayer drains at a certain rate, and if you turn it off before that game tick is complete, it's considered bug abuse. I don't think that's the case, no. It was a bug, definitely. They liked it, so they called it emergent gameplay, and that they implemented content that used it. I don't think it's a bug. I don't think it's bug abuse by one tick flicking. That, like, your prayer is drained at a certain rate. If you turn your prayer off before that timer hits, you don't lose that prayer point. They're not bugs. How are you supposed to do Inferno without prayer flicking? Keep rotating on pillars. This is not the video for that explanation, but you need a bit of research, I think, my friend. You found a way to flick my light switch on and off at night times and have infinite electricity, the government would come after me. I think you probably blow a fuse before that happens. It wasn't an intended mechanic, that makes it a bug by definition. No, it doesn't. I don't think it's a bug because it wasn't an intended mechanic. No, because players find a more efficient route than the developers, that doesn't make it bug abuse. That's not even close. The developers make something, players play the game, and they find something more efficient in that method without breaking the game. That's not bug abuse. No, because trust me, bro. Google the definition of a bug in game. I didn't say trust me, bro. Definition of a bug. What is the, okay? Define in-game bug. An in-game bug is an error, flaw, or fault in a video game's programming or code that causes it to produce unintended, incorrect, or unexpected behavior. What's your fucking point? It was implied, don't be daft. What is your point here? There's no error, flaw, or fault in the game's programming for one tick flicking. Did you Google this before you said that? Unintended game mechanics. A flaw, error, or fault in the game's programming or code that causes it to produce unintended, incorrect, or unexpected behavior. But there's no error, flaw, or fault in the programming with one tick flicking. I did not Google it. Then shut your fucking mouth. You know what you're talking about, alright? Bug abuse implies bad for the game. I had no idea how what Rendi did is bad for the game. He was abusing the game's code to get unintended results. That's what he was doing. Yes. But one tick flicking and prey flicking is not bug abuse. And if you think it is, you got brain damage. How can it be unintended if they didn't know it could be done? It's... Every time Jagex puts out a new method, they give us XP rates, right? They'll introduce Valamore thieving. They'll say, this is going to be this much XP an hour. Players get more XP per hour than what Jagex says. Is it bug abuse because you're getting more XP per hour because Jagex said you should be getting this? Are players bug abusing for being more efficient than Jagex says? Every time they put out, oh, wood cutting on fucking doing Valamore totems is going to be this much fletching XP an hour, but people get more than what they originally pointed out. They're playing more efficiently. They're playing at a better rate. They're using faster paths. Is that bug abuse because they're doing something more efficiently? They're doing unintended XP rates. They're fletching on the way to the totems to save time. Is that bug abuse? Because it's unintended? Is Jagex what Jagex says the law on that? Like we're going around in circles here. We're making stupid points now, you know? One tick flicking, prey flicking isn't bug abuse. What Rendi was doing was bug abuse. The way Jagex handled it was fucking shit. And I'd like to see them try to do better in the future, but who knows? How about the 2 and 3 tick skilling then? Like the what's it called? Like 2 tick fishing and shit. I don't think that's bug abuse. No. Like 2 tick swordfish. I don't think it's bug abuse. No. Mods and game developers aren't true sweaty games, basically. No, they're not. Level 3 skillers probably get mad about their parents changing when the milk is in the fridge. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Sure. Josh isn't gaming. Fish controller exploit gave him 40 to 80k XP an hour per individual game by having roughly 100 players log off simultaneously, forcing their fish rewards into a single person. That's an unintended mechanic. That's where you figure out the line of bug abuse, because that sounds very similar to Chambers of Xeric with the purples, right? People used to do the raid, then they'd log everyone out, kick everyone out of the raid, so all the points would funnel into one person. Is that considered bug abuse? Jagex coded it that way. It's more of an oversight by Jagex. They've changed it now, but they never banned or punished anyone for doing it. This is the easiest room in the raid. It's quite simple. You got a big boy. Look at him. God damn. Fuck me. Look at that boy. It's huge.